Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. We start here with chapstick, but today we're not because we got stuff going on already. The crazy, because I can be hella entertaining at times. Yes, I do curse on my channel at times. I hope that's not offensive to you. The troll, because there is no such thing. And also just to make a little bit of fun of the perfection aspect of the beauty community. Perfection doesn't exist except to say you're perfect the way you are. Try not to fall into feeling like you need to fit into someone else's or the industry standards of what you should use, what you should look like, what brand, what product, how you place your makeup, yada, 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 slim your nose, chisel your face, change your features, all of that stuff. No. Here on the Crazy Troll Nation, self-acceptance, self-love, embrace your natural features, enhance them if you want to. We love to play in face paint, but just rock what you want to wear with confidence. That's the basic concept. Self-acceptance, self-love, and that's what we do here. I'll show you what else we do here. You can tell by the title what this video is about, and I'm laughing because this tag, there are 11 questions. I just did a palette declutter video, and I did get something new in since then. I have 18 palettes. Curated, workable, minimalist eyeshadow palette collection. So 18 palettes and there's 11 questions. Just like do eeny, meeny, miny, mo and just put one in each category, right? But no, we're not going to do that. So I really sat down and looked at what I have and really tried to do justice to the questions. If I don't like something, I don't keep it. So I'm not a hoarder. I'm not a collector. If it doesn't serve my purpose, or even if I find that I'm really not using it that much and then I'm looking at it like, well, I miss it if it's gone. If the answer is no, I get rid of it. And so that eliminates a lot of stuff. And that's what got me down to the low number of palettes that I have. This part is important because this is a collab. I will have everyone's channel linked below, and if I have their video link prior to uploading this video, their tag video link will be below. There's also a giveaway involved, and from what I understand, to be eligible for the giveaway, you need to be subscribed to all of us that are doing this collab. And I understand if you feel some kind of way about that, and I'm sorry. But I did agree to be a part of the collab, and that's what the rules are. And I am doing a giveaway. My giveaway, and we're each giving away something different. It's whatever we want to do. I'm giving away an Ulta gift card, and the gift card will be worth $50. That way you can purchase whatever the hell you want to. You can purchase an eyeshadow palette if you want to get skincare, nail stuff, hair stuff, whatever. And so that's my contribution to the giveaway, and this collab is a $50 Ulta gift card. Please read everything down below. All the rules will be down below. Also down below is the video link that was sent to us to see the tag video. And it's all about eyeshadows part 2. The video that was sent to us was Angelica's video. And in her video, she linked 2 other people that also did it. So I linked those as well. I'm a fan of giving credit where credit is due. And so that's why there's a lot of links below. And prior to seeing Angelica's video and the 2 that she had linked in her description box, I saw I Am Jamila's video. She did this tag, excuse me. Queer Bones did this tag. Dr. Ash and her makeup did this tag. And so I linked them down below as well. And if you put eyeshadow tag 2, there's like a host of people that did it. But I'm just listing the ones that were sent to me, Angelica and the 2 in her box, and the 3 that I saw, Jamila, Queer Bones, and Dr. Ash. And so check out all of their videos. And they are great channels. I really do enjoy their content. And so again, just read down below. Everything will be down there. Let's jump into what the questions are. The first question, Again, this is all about eyeshadow palettes. Let me put my sticky right here with the questions right in front of me, right here. All-time favorite palette. If you've seen my palette collection, you know it's only a handful of brands that I have. I am not sorry for that. But my all-time favorite, and I'm saying that to say you'll see duplicate brands, Natasha Denona Metropolis palette is my all-time favorite because you have your neutrals, you have your warm tones, you got some grungy over here, you got some, you know, deep colors, you got some pops, you got this red down here, orange up here. So this is my all-time favorite because I can pick this up on any day, even if I am traveling, which I'm not because it's still COVID. I can take this one palette and do whatever type of look I want to do. I can do grungy, I can do smoky, I can do something light and breezy and easy like this one, or, you know, I can pop in, you know, some darkness and some color. This is everyday palette for me. So this is my all-time favorite. The next one, my new favorite. My new favorite because I just got it, and this is what I use for this look, which I prefer me with bold colors, bright colors, vampy looks, dark eye, dark lip. And even though this is not that, I like how colorful it is. And this is the Nomad Marrakesh Medina palette, and this is what that looks like. This is my new favorite. You get something new, it's my favorite. I like it because it has the warm tones. I do lean more towards warm tones because of my complexion and undertone. But then you have some blues over here if you're into blues. You have yellows. This yellow right here, which one is it? This one, that's this inner corner. And usually yellows don't show up on my skin tone. And I was just like, whoa. So right now, this is my favorite. This is the first look with it, but the shadows, Nomad shadows in general, they just work. They just work. They perform really nicely. They blend together nicely, easy to work with. So this is my new favorite because I'm like, this could be an everyday palette because of the warmness of it and the neutral leaning warmness of it. The next one, underrated. I missed a question, but one of the questions is underrated palettes. And I'm going to use this one again. I'm going to say this again, the Nomad Cosmetics Marrakesh Medina palette. Because if you search on YouTube for this palette, there's only like a handful of videos. So I'm just like, what? Why is nobody, well, not nobody, because there's a handful of people, but why is this not more represented? That sentence doesn't sound right. Why does this palette have so little representation on YouTube? Now I sound like I have a PhD. There I go. Entertaining my damn self. But when I was looking for looks on here and just reviews, I'm like, why is there not much on YouTube with this palette? So I'm going to say this is underrated because, and it's been out for years. So this look will probably be for like a throwback Thursday because even though it's new for me, it's not new. This palette is years old. And it's just like, why can I not find much about it on YouTube? So the question that I unintentionally skipped was keep for the memories. I'm going to say Natasha Denona Safari palette. Once I learned how to work it, I really started loving it. But I just don't reach for it. And I think it's because I have the newer stuff. And any goal when I get a new palette, as I said, I just got this one. Anytime I get a new palette, my goal is to use every shade at least 3 times. And I will do at least like 4 looks and I'll post them on YouTube. And so for everything I'm showing you, I have a playlist here on YouTube. So just browse through and see what I did with the palettes if you want to. And including this one, I have a playlist for it. When I first used it, I thought it was trash, but then I had to just rework how I applied my shadows, and then I started loving it. And I just don't reach for it for no particular reason. And every time I do think about it, I would miss it if I didn't have it. So that's why I still have it. So it's not really keeping it for the memory. It's keeping it, excuse me, because I really do enjoy it. I can do a smoke look here. I can do a neutral look with this row here. I can do, you know, a deeper, cool, neutral, excuse me, look with this row here. And of course I can mix and match. This column is really just good for blending for me or buffing out lower lash line because these don't really show up. But the rest of these, I love these tones. I love them. And this is an all matte palette, which I love as well. And so it's not, again, keeping it for the memory, keeping it because I do like it. It just tends not to get used as much. Not a fave, but can't get rid of it. I'm going to say Natasha Denona Camo palette. And I have it sitting here on the side, and it was going to be decluttered. And then I had a look to do for Friendmas in February. And this was a palette that I thought I could dupe with the palette that Megan was using. And so I kept it. I had it only for a year. This is hard pan already, which is annoying as hell. It's still usable and I still do use it. But the other tones I have in other palettes. And so I don't need this one. And so it's not a favorite. I do love her cream to powder and her cream to matte formula. But this palette isn't a favorite just because I have these tones. And this annoys me because it's hard pan. And yet it's still here, waiting for me to throw it away. Favorite collaboration? I don't buy collabs. The reason I don't buy from collabs and indie brands is because I have sensitive skin. And if I use an eyeshadow palette or any other makeup item or skincare item, if I have a bad reaction, I want the option of returning it and getting my money back, because I'm not going to use it if it breaks me out or irritates my eyes or aggravates my eye allergies or my nasal allergies. And so that's what prevents me from buying from indie brands, is because they don't have a return policy. And so if I'm going to get something, it's because, okay, either somebody sent me something and I liked it, and so then I ordered from that brand. But just to go out on a whim and just buy something from an indie brand, no matter how hyped up it is, I'm like, if I'm going to have a reaction to it, I want that option to return it, because it's not going to do me any good just to have it sitting here or trying to think, who can I give it to, or can I sell it or something like that. And so I don't have anything from Collabs. The reason that I have Nomad is because they do have a return policy. And I purchased Haunted Europe and Berlin Underground at the same time. I love them both. And then I went on and bought America's Parks. And so even though that option was there to return it if I didn't like it, I loved it and bought more from that brand. And even Marrakesh is their newest one for me that I purchased from their brand. But that's what stops me from buying collabs. It's like, if I have a reaction to it, I'm stuck with it. What am I going to do with it? And so I don't have a favorite collab because I don't purchase collabs. And there's some I do want to purchase, and I look at the reviews, but then I'm like, do I want to take that chance? And the answer is no. So sorry, not sorry. 2021 favorite. I'm going to say my 2021 favorite, and I just mentioned it, one of the two Nomad palettes, and I purchased them in the same order. This is Haunted Europe, and I'm saying this is my favorite because this was my first palette that I purchased that had this color story. You can do monochromatic if you want to with the yellows. You can do a monochromatic green, or you can just mix and match. And I do have a playlist for this too. And the colors, this Nomad shadows just work for me. I don't know what sorcery they do in their palettes. And as I said earlier, I prefer me in warm tones or neutral leaning warm tones. All cool tone looks do not, I think they just make me look ashy. Even though the eye look may be pretty, when you look at it in totality with my face, it makes me look ashy. But this has such a nice mix. And this right here, this is just grungy goodness. This right here with some of these yellows and even this shade up here, it's just grungy goodness. And I didn't have anything like this in my collection at that time. And so I'm going to say that this is my 2021 favorite because this was the first one I had like this. And that's what I mean when I say curated workable collection. There are no dupes. This palette doesn't dupe that one. You don't have similar color stories. Everything has a place. Everything has a purpose. And so more or less one of a kind. And that's what helped me when I did my declutter, was like, okay, I have these tones. Okay, get rid of this one because I like this one more. That type of thing. And so that is definitely my favorite. And like, look at this packaging. I know it's glaring you're in, so I need to just stop. But you see that? Oh, sorry for the glares, but you have to Okay, let me move on. A palette that I didn't expect to love. I expected to like it. I didn't expect to love it as much as I do. And it's the Nomad America's Parks palette. And the reason that, and I took a chance because online it looked really cool toned. And I just explained about me and cool tones. It's not my friend. And I took a chance because I knew already that I really liked their formula. But in person, it's more neutral leaning warm. It's not a complete cool tone palette. And the shades just work. I have a playlist for this. I have a playlist for everything. So just check them out and see the looks that I've done. I love every look that I've done with this palette. And the shades, they work. And something that's strange in a good way with Nomad shadows, it may be my complexion, it may be my undertone, I don't know. But their shades look one way when I swatch them. And granted, my arm is not the same shade as my face. But when I apply them, they look different than the swatches. Either they'll look brighter, like this yellow here from the other palette. Either the shades will look brighter, or they might look deeper, or like this might look more, whatever that color is. I'm not good at describing colors. This one may look more purple, or it might look like a purpley brown. It's just, I don't know what it is with Nomad palettes. And I mentioned that in another video, how they swatch one way and then you put them on, they look another way. And somebody was like, yeah, they do have that tendency. And so I knew I was going to like this because, sorry for the glares, because I like the Nomad formula, but I was skeptical about the color story. But once I got it and I looked at it and I used it, I love this palette. I love it. So that's one I didn't expect to love that I do. A palette that sparks joy. My MAC 9-pan palette that I put together with singles from MAC. I was duping the Lime Crime Venus 2 palette because after the second use, well, the second time I used it, the shadows were acting flaky and dry. And I'm just like, this is my second time using this thing. Like, why is this acting like that? I really like the color story. And I had 4 of the shades from my birthday quad, which was these 3 and, wait a minute. It was these 3 and this one. So this was my birthday quad. I got a free quad for my birthday gift in December. And so they actually gave you the 4-pan palette and I was able to pick 4 shades. And so I picked these 4. And so when it came to dupe out the Lime Crime palette, I duped it for these shades. And so this one sparks me joy because this is one that I was able to create myself. And I do really enjoy using it. I really enjoy MAC's shadows. The matte ones, a lot of kick up in the pan, but who cares? I'd rather kick up in the pan than fall out on my face. But I love how MAC shadows perform. And for me, this is kind of going back to my roots a little bit, using MAC again. And so that one really brings me joy. My newest palette, that would be the Marrakesh one. And that's under here. This is my newest palette. I'm not going to say much about it. I already spoke about it twice in 2 other categories, which is what happens when you have a small collection. The first palette that I used in 2022, Martine Cosmetics 699 palette. Abracadabra, bitch. I saw Nikki Raven 76, her video on this palette. And when I was watching it, I knew I was going to buy this palette. All the way from Belgium. Extra shipping costs, everything. Now, excuse me. Now you can get it on Beauty Bay. And so it is still the $55, I think. But then I had to pay, it was like an extra 15 and some change for shipping. And I got it in 2 weeks, which isn't bad, this coming from Belgium. But this is all sorts of grungy goodness. I love this palette. It has a few dual chromes. This one, and this one. So you see how they look now. Look at that. This one, and this one. Look at that again. Gorgeous. This is a beautiful palette. I guess you can go light-handed if you want to, but why would you when you have this grungy deep goodness? I do have a playlist for this too. I have a playlist for everything. Check them out. This was the first one that I used in 2022. And I was recreating looks that Nikki Raven did. Of course, it looks nothing like hers because hers were the bomb and mine's is trollish. But anyway, this also, I feel weird saying it would be a favorite because all of my palettes are favorites except for this one. And I do have some other palettes over here, but for the sake of this video and answering these questions, these are the ones that came to mind as I was looking through what I have. And the only reason this isn't my all-time favorite is because this is not an everyday palette, whereas the Metropolis is an everyday palette. But this is definitely, like, anytime I want smoke, anytime I want grunge, anytime I just want deep and dark, or, you know, one of these dual chromes here, this is what I reach for. And I don't even care that it's 3 blacks. And this one, even though it looks like a shimmer in it, when you apply it, the shimmer doesn't show up. And some of the blacks, like one is darker than another. One blends out to be like a charcoalish shade. And I really don't mind it though, because it fits with the aesthetic of this palette. And some people complained about why is there 3 blacks. I don't care. I love this palette. I love how the shades perform. I don't have any problems with them at all. And I took a chance on this because it was not returnable. And so I thought, if I have an issue with this palette, I'm just going to cry and then think of who I can give it to or try and sell it somewhere. But I did not have a problem with it. So this would be another, I guess, indie brand that I purchased from. I just had to have it. When I seen her video, I knew I'm getting that palette. And I think before her video was over, I was online, like, how can I get this palette? And everything was in French. And so I had the Martine Cosmetics website open in the window. I had another window open with Google Translate, and I was copying and pasting what stuff said. So I would know what it says. And when it came to order, you know, your name, your address, blah, blah, blah. I'm copying and pasting. Okay, that's for city. Okay, let me type my city and then put it over here. Because I didn't know what that stuff was. And from United States to overseas, we do write the address different. And so that's how I ordered it. I just had 2 windows open and used Google Translate. Like, it was easy to do. Joys of the internet. So that was it for this tag. You're free to do the tag, and I would love it if you did. And if you do, let me know so I can watch it. And feel free to link it below if you want to, or if you post your video announcement on Instagram, tag me on there to make sure that I come see your video. _ Dion Loves Makeup, and my IG is below. Please make sure you read all the information below regarding this collab, and especially the giveaway part. And again, my giveaway for this channel will be a $50 Ulta gift card, and you can buy what you want to buy. You have all sorts of brands to choose from. That's the joy in a gift card. You get the gift card, and then you get to buy something with the gift card. So it's like 2 gifts. See how we do that? So thank you for watching. You'll see me in the next video. And yeah, that's it.